Hi everyone, today's question comes from Joan. Joan is having problems scaling up loose exercises, things she does on scrap paper or in sketchbooks, up to larger size paintings. She says, my problems arise when I try to scale them up to a wall-sized piece of art. They don't seem to have the same freshness or spontaneity. I'll keep trying though. This is a very common problem. If you try to scale up from sketchbook work to something larger, it often doesn't work. Now, I don't really know, I can't speak for how this works in representational painting, because you may do studies to get the idea of your composition and then you may do your landscape or still life painting from that. I can only speak from my own experience working abstractly, but I want to show you, I thought it'd be helpful if I just showed you some of my sketchbooks and then talk as I show you about why you can't directly translate what you do to a larger scale, but you can translate the ideas you're having to a larger scale. And that's the difference. You will always struggle to translate that exact image, that thing you love in your sketchbook or on a scrap of paper. You'll always struggle to make that great on a large scale, because what makes that great is the spontaneity and surprise in it that you felt while you were making it. We can feel it when we look at it, and you can't get that surprise and spontaneity again, but you can get that same feeling if you work in the same way, larger scale, just not trying to copy what you did. So I'm going to take you through some of my sketchbooks and explain to you how these things evolved into paint. So I have a pile of sketchbooks here. I'm going to take you through the concertina ones first. These sketchbooks, because everybody's going to ask, are C. White concertina sketchbooks. In the US and other countries, they may be called accordion sketchbooks. They probably don't have the brand C. White, they might have, but here in the UK I buy these. You can also make these, because as you can see, it's just a piece of paper folded up. So these come with a cover, but you could just fold up a piece of paper and make these books. What's nice about these is that you just continue across pages. And so when I'm just having a play, I just work across as many pages as I can spread out at once. You can see that these are quite rough and ready. But what was happening when I was working in these books was I was getting certain things happening. I was enjoying words on collage. I was enjoying patterns, starting to bring in, like, you see how there's a pattern coming in. This was all just from doing what I felt like doing in a book that I didn't have to show anyone else. So it wasn't intentional, it was just, what do I feel like doing? I don't judge myself and what happens in these books. I just do, and then notice, just keep a note of what I enjoy. So that's this book. Just very quickly show you a couple of others. So now I started to do more of the circles, the patterns, the collage. I like this scribble. So I started to add scribbles, big letters, but not letters that are making any sense. I find I prefer it when they don't make sense. I like this page, and I just play around and just notice what I'm enjoying. And what happened while I was working in these concertina books like this, I actually ran out of steam in the book. I didn't finish it because I got so interested in it that I got some small wooden panels that's what I work on. And I began to just play with the same things. Oh, I love this loose mark making, I like this pattern, I like this collage. Words, let me have a go on some panels. And quite quickly, that series, it became a series I called Patternicity. Quite quickly, those paintings evolved. But there was no one of those paintings that was a copy of any of these. But there are things in those paintings. There are sometimes big words and letters in those Patternicity paintings. There are patterns. There is collage material. There are these scratchy marks. This stuff all came in because I had been playing with it so much it couldn't help but come in. At the moment, in the concertina books, I'm very interested in getting much more raw, much more energetic. And so I'm really playing in here with some quite ugly things. You know, I like them, but I'm not trying to make beauty. I'm trying to find the gestures and the marks that are going to bring energy and excitement to my work. And I'm noticing what I really like. I really like a scribble, but I especially like it like here when it's contrasted by lots of other stuff going around it, when it's isolated on its own. I like it there too. But this is what I like, won't be what anyone else likes. And then some pages are really rough and ready. Look at that. I mean, it's just a mess at the moment. I quite like this page, lots of energy in it. Now we're getting really untidy. Here I need to do something here because I don't like these pages. This page got very messy. And then here's some that haven't really developed yet, just a very thin coat of watery paint on there. But I don't care what's in here in terms of what you think of it. It's all for my own internal processing. So that's one of the ways that I play in sketchbooks and that it comes out in my work. Then let me show you a couple of other ways. This is a book I work in on composition. And what I do in this book, ignore the first few pages, but what I've been doing in this book is using bits of collage paper, because I do a lot of collaging, and when I have little scraps left over, I make myself make a composition out of them in this book. When I say I make myself, I give myself the challenge to make a composition out of scraps. How can I make that blue napkin and this piece of black ink painting into something that looks like a decent composition? How can I put very different things together? I was doing here, so colour chips, I'd mixed up some colours and I was practicing on paper. Now how can I put them with something that's very different from them and make it interesting? Here, same thing, just taking little bits of collage paper and seeing if I can make interesting compositions. And some of these compositions might come out, you know, in paintings, but they might not. I just let it all happen. And finally, this book, I had this book with me when I went away and I didn't have any art materials except for pencils and crayons. So I was just working on this energy, the energy of marks. Can I get energy into my marks? And really doing just crazy scribbling and then collaging sometimes. But there was no intention to make paintings or anything appealing to anyone else. It was more, I want to get these scribbles out and see what I can make of them and see if they might become anything. You know, they may never come into my work, or they might come into my work. Again, sticking in bits of collage paper. It's just like these dots. I'm so in love with dots at the moment and circles, but I don't know why. So I put two different types of dots and then scribble in the middle something different. Could that be something that comes into my work? I don't know, but these dots now are coming in to paintings that I'm doing. It's not, again, something conscious. I started making this book back in, well, about 6 months ago, but now this stencil in particular has really started to come into a lot of my paintings. Not sure yet where those paintings are going, so I'm not sure, you know, what role it's playing or how important it is, but this is how I work in sketchbooks.
While ever you are trying to copy something, it will always feel dead and lifeless. So freedom of attitude is the key to freedom in the paintings that you make. And that's why my process works, of playing freely in the sketchbooks, but then putting them away and trusting that the things I've learned and the things I've become interested in will naturally evolve and come out in the paintings. So I hope that's helpful, Joan. I'll be really excited to see what happens for you if you just allow yourself to play on your canvases or panels or paper or whatever you do your paintings on. If you allow yourself to play with the same freedom that you allowed yourself to do those initial sketches, exercise things, it will be better, I promise you. Take care, everybody. See you next time. Bye.